Welcome back. If it is joined us watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. The People's Democratic Party accuses the president of dictatorship, also faults the APC of the happenings in the Senate. APC dismisses PDP's allegation just as the presidency dissociates itself from allegations leveled against the Senate president. More visitors throng the home of HID Awolowo. Federal government offers to assist in her funeral. And Pope Francis meets former Cuban leader Fidel Castro on the first visit to the communist-ruled island. Well, let's just remind you that all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channels, where you can watch our videos. But do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We also urge you to please interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you'd like to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. As part of the strategic move to grow Nigeria's oil and gas reserves and generate more income, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has secured a $1.2 billion multi-year drilling financing package for 36 offshore-onshore oil wells under the NNPC Chevron Nigeria Limited joint venture. At the ceremony held in London to consummate the deal, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, described the new alternative funding model in the upstream financing as a template for future initiatives to supplement the federal government's joint venture cash call commitment. A breakdown of the funds, which is being financed by a consortium of Nigerian and international lenders, indicates that the $1.2 billion to be channeled into the development of 23 onshore and 13 offshore wells on OML 49, 90, and 95 in two stages over 2015 to 2018. Stage 1, comprising 19 wells, is projected to deliver 21,000 barrels of crude oil and condensate per day, alongside 120 million standard cubic feet of gas per day over 2015 and 2016. Stage 2, comprising 17 wells, is projected to yield 20,000 barrels of crude oil and condensate per day, alongside gas production of 7 million standard million cubic feet between 2016 and 2018. Suspected members of the Boko Haram sector struck in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, leaving 9 people dead. According to reports, the incident happened around 8 p.m. in the Ngomari area of the city. Witnesses say 3 different explosions occurred in close succession around Ngomari area of the city. One of the explosions occurred in a mosque when Muslim faithful were observing their evening prayers. More than 50 persons have been reported injured, and rescued officials are still evacuating casualties from the scene of the incident. Officials at the State Specialist Hospital say 8 bodies have been deposited at the morgue, with 1 dismembered body. This attack comes just when the president announced in France that the federal government is holding talks with members of the sect. Well, the story is even more grievous here in Lagos. Doctors at the University Teaching Hospital may have battled in vain to save the life of a woman allegedly shot by a police officer at Ijegun area of the state. Channels Television's Loretta Chogo visited the hospital where she met with the slain woman's 4 children who witnessed the killing, and now reports that her family members are demanding justice.
Perhaps the public has heard different stories, all sounding the same, about the alleged killing of a mother of 4 by a policeman at Ijegun area of Alimosho local government area in Lagos. However, in a clearer narration by the 9-year-old daughter of the deceased, with her own eyes, her dear mother was fallen by a bullet.
When us were coming back from church, after us were going, police now stop our daddy. Our daddy now stop. Now park his Marwa one place. After when my daddy now come outside, now want to come and discuss to the police, and my mom too now want to come and discuss. When they now finish discussing, they now want to come and my daddy first enter the Marwa. Then my mommy now want to come and enter the Marwa. The police now shoot my mommy in her head. The bullet now enter her head and come out and affect my daddy. When my daddy now want to face like this, that bullet now come and tear him here. After they now carry my daddy to General Hospital. After the blood now start rushing from my mommy head. My mommy now fall with the baby down in the Marwa. Then she now press the baby. One man now come and carry the baby from my mommy.
The security in the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth, is tight. Our camera must not be seen taking shots. So we resort to conducting interviews with the deceased family members who are demanding immediate justice in our bus.
Power to take care of them. Even now, it's only God that knows what I'm passing through. At night, I can't sleep, because, especially for this last born, because it was still sucking breast before the mother passed away. I have to wake up in the night to give him tea. And he will sleep. Every 30 minutes he will wake up, crying, shouting. I have to wake up. How can you see a woman with a child? I cannot never see them as a friend. Right from that time, I hate police.
Human rights activist Jo Dumaki is concerned about the incessant killing of innocent Nigerians. She says this recent one is one case too many.
Seeing the 4 children that she left behind, 12-year-old, 9, 7 and 11-month-old Elijah, this has become a recurring decimal. Idonisit must get justice. Udo must get justice. This is also a wake-up call that the welfare of the police has to be taken care of. Those who carry arms, we must subject them to a psychiatric test so that we will certify them fit to carry those arms. Again, looking at those 4 children and the state of poverty, the Lagos state government should please work with the police, the Commissioner of Police, to ensure that there's a trust fund for these children. These children must be properly rehabilitated. Again, mentally, they have to be taken care of medically.
So far, the police has committed some undisclosed amount of money for Godwin's treatment, husband to the deceased. And that's according to the Commissioner of Police and the hospital authorities, who refuse to speak on camera. It is a pathetic situation here at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth, Idiaraba, and only a strong support can help the now motherless children's father recuperate and also give a life and a future to the 4 children. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Heartbreaking indeed here in Lagos. But the story is not all gloom. The Lagos State Police Command has arrested a middle-aged woman for the alleged kidnap of 3 children of the same parents. The Commissioner of Police, Fatai Owosini, says the children, who are aged between 1 and 4, were returning from an Arabic school in Itere, Lagos. Luck, however, ran out on the suspect, who had picked up the twins on the road and demanded for the 1-year-old from the mother, while their grandmother raised an alarm. Mr. Owosini, however, warned parents to take adequate measures to secure their children. And now to pension issues. About a week ago, a legal practitioner and human rights activist, Dr. Ebun Adegborua, was our guest here on the News at 10, and he lamented the poor treatment of pensioners across the country. He wondered why people, after spending their prime days serving the country, are not paid their entitlements or paid very late. Mr. Adegborua then called for the scrapping of the Pension Commission. Today we've been joined by Mr. Olulano Loyimi, who is the head of Benefits and Insurance Department of PENCOM. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Now, why is it so difficult to pay civil servants and others their entitlements after many years of service? I mean, this is their money they're asking for back.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me quickly lay a foundation to that. The contributory pension scheme came into effect in 2004, but there has been an old scheme, which we call the defined benefit scheme, which the federal government, the public sector mainly, had been operating before now. So there were issues with the old scheme because it was not fully funded, and government had to be making budget every year to be able to meet the payment of retirement benefits. But it became unsustainable because the fund was not set aside. That was why the contributory pension scheme came into effect. And it operates this way. Employer and employees will have to make contribution on behalf of the employee, which will be privately managed by licensed pension fund administrators, and the custody of the asset is with custodian. So there is separation. When this fund has been managed and it has grown to an extent, when the person, the employee is retiring, he starts drawing from what he has contributed as his or her retirement benefits. To date, we have about 135,000 retirees who have retired under the new scheme. There is no AZU about the payment of their retirement benefits. In fact, all they need to do is sit in the comfort of their houses and receive alert from their banks that their monthly pension have been credited to their bank account. The complaint that people have about non-payment of benefits relates to the portion of the old pension scheme that was supposed to have been transferred into this new scheme. And the arrangement about that is that as of 2004 June, when the old scheme was cut off, the government recognized the entitlement of the workers then who transited to this new scheme by virtue of a bond. The entitlement, what each employee was entitled to, was commuted into a bond, which is an acknowledgement that the government was owing this set of retirees. And since they are still continuing in employment, government promised that the day they retire, this amount that is being owed will be converted into cash and added to their contribution under the new scheme. However, in order to be able to meet this liability, government makes projection of its annual revenue. But you know what has been happening in recent times in terms of the situation in the oil market, when the price of oil in the international market has been going down. So it affected government revenue. That is why we have a little delay in terms of remittance of the accrued pension rights of these people. But you also note that about 2 weeks ago, the management of the National Pension Commission met Mr. President and explained these issues to Mr. President, and he gave a promise and directed the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Ministry of Finance to work together on the modalities for ensuring that the backlog is paid so that people will have their money promptly.
And
so,
how long will it take for this backlog to be paid? Because we've seen from time to time those protests, you know, at the offices where pensioners are asking for their monies to be paid. I mean, nobody explained all of this to them then. And some of them have, unfortunately, you know, passed on without receiving their pensions.
I think we need to put that in the right perspective. For where we have had a protest, we have some maybe in the states and others that have not really keyed into this new pension scheme.
And you say there's legislation. There's legislation for the states now to implement this.
Yes, you discover that the 2004 Pension Reform Act was revised in 2014. The 2004 Act did not include the state government under its coverage. The reason being that under our fiscal federalism, the federal government cannot make law for the state government as to how they will have to utilize their funds. So this is the situation. But by collaboration, the 2014 law now embraced, it included the states. With that, the states have started embracing the new scheme, passing their laws, and also deducting contributions on behalf of their employees and remitting into their retirement savings account. And also putting in place group life insurance policy. But I need to add that it is not all the states that have embraced the scheme. So the commission is engaging them virtually on a daily basis. We have a department that goes after them, educate them, enlighten them, and tell them about the benefits of this new scheme. And many of them, about 10, have keyed into the scheme and is operating effectively. And as to the portion of the federal government,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought we should just leave it there. More information, of course, on our website, www.channelstv.com. Mr. Olulono Loyimi, thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10. And we are hopeful that our pensioners will be paid over the course of time, as you have promised. I've been speaking with the head of Benefits and Insurance Department at PENCOM, Mr. Olulono Loyimi, here on the News at 10. But when the News at 10 returns, Nigeria's immigration deports over 2,000 illegal immigrants. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.